We saw them, though.
Got them, but
Wasn't
the
there?
roof of windshield,
Yeah,
I can't get them mounted.
I don't know, Gary, if you mind kind of sitting this way so the camera.
Sure.
Sorry.
No, I don't care.
Limited space available now. We have the two board meetings tonight, the tax hearing.
Right. All right, if everyone's ready, let's begin. It's 7 o'clock. There is a quorum present. Is there any additions or deletions to the agenda? I have none. Then we make a motion to approve the agenda. Approve the agenda.
I'll make that motion.
All in favor? The minutes of the August 12th regular board meeting.
We'll do the tax rate hearing first.
We'll do that first.
Yeah,
Want to suspend regular? Okay.
yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
If you're good with that, because that's how I had the agenda. And
All right. Well, then we'll suspend the regular business and go to the special board meeting. The quorum is present. Is there any additions to this? Okay. Then let's look at the performer review, please.
I have included in your board packet for the tax rate hearing a signed pro forma, not signed yet, but got back from the assessor's office. Our tax rate is set to be the exact same as last year. After we set the tax rate today with the rollback, I will fill out the pro forma to include the rollback because they don't have that on there for our sales tax rollback. So we will submit that to the county this week, and we will be within the legal law to set our tax rate for next year. Yeah, so we're roughly budget-wise the same, maybe 15,000 more this year than we were last year. So our tax rate will be set again this year at 5217 on $100 basis. Questions about the pro forma?
Yes. Any questions? I have none.
You have to read the resolution.
Yeah, I was looking. There it is. Resolution 20-14, 2021 tax levy, general revenue of the Hillsborough Fire Protection District, Jefferson County, Missouri. Whereas the Hillsborough Fire Protection District has duly incorporated as such by the Circuit Court of Jefferson County, Missouri, and a certified copy of same together with a plat showing the boundaries of said district is now on file with the clerk of the county of Jefferson County, Missouri. And whereas Gary W. Boyer, Marcy D. Kirka, okay, and Matthew E. Woods are the duly elected, qualified, and acting directors of the said Hillsborough Fire Protection District, and are now providing the necessary equipment and personnel for the prevention of and protection against fires in said districts. And whereas Section 321.250 of the revised statute of Missouri provided that the board of directors shall certify to the county of Jefferson, Hillsborough, Missouri, on or before the first day of October of each year, a rate of levy fixed by the board is provided by law providing the revenues for the operation expense of the fire protection district. And whereas pursuant to section 321.240 of the revised statute of Missouri, that the voters of the Hillsborough Fire Protection District at the regular elections held in said district has approved the proposition authority of the Board of Directors of the Hillsborough Fire Protection District to level the annual rate of 0.5217 cents on a $100 assist evaluation. And whereas the Board of Directors of the Hillsborough Fire Protection District of Jefferson County has caused to be posted at 3 or more locations within the district 7 days prior to a notice of public hearing for the setting of the levy rate of the district for Wednesday, September 9th, 2020 at the hour of 7 p.m. Central Daylight Time at the district headquarters boardroom, 125th Street, City of Hillsborough, State of Missouri. And whereas the Board of Directors of Hillsborough Fire Protection District, Jefferson County, Missouri, has determined that the levy of 5217, that is 0.1217 cents on the $100 assessed evaluation on all tangible property located in the boundaries of the Hillsborough Fire Protection District of Jefferson County, Missouri, is necessary to supply funds for paying for the expense and the operation and cost of acquiring, supplying, and maintaining the property, works, and equipment of the district. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Directors of the Hillsborough Fire Protection District of Jefferson County, Missouri, and in this order to make the provision for payments of necessary expenses of operation of the Hillsborough Fire Protection District of Jefferson County, Missouri. The Secretary of the Board of Directors shall on before October 1st, 2020, certify to the County of Jefferson, Hillsborough, Missouri, a levy rate in the amount of 5217 at 0.5217 cents on each $100 assessed evaluation of all taxable tangible property within the boundaries of the Hillsborough Fire Protection District, both real and personal, and including properties of public utility companies, and also upon franchisees, the properties of railways, including telegraph, telephone companies, make taxable by law and include all the statements made by merchants and factories, if provided by law situated in the boundaries of the Hillsborough Fire Protection District. Upon receipt of such certification, it shall be the duty of the County of Jefferson, Hillsborough, Missouri, at the time and the manner required by law, to levy a state, county, and school tax, to levy, collect, and remit the Board of Directors of the Hillsborough Fire Protection District a tax rate above fixed, and be it resolved further that a copy of this resolution certified by the Secretary of the Board will be delivered to the County of Jefferson, Hillsborough, Missouri, Director Matt E. Woods. Yep. Yep.
And I'm
Okay.
gonna move that we adopt this resolution 2014.
Which is seconded by, and the question being put on a roll call vote. The results were the following: eight, and yay. Passed by the board on this, the 9th day of September 2000.
Now can I tell you the error that's in that resolution?
Sure.
It's 5247, not 17. There was a typo in there.
Okay.
That was my fault.
So instead of being 05217, you have
It should be 05247.
247. Okay. All right.
My apologies for that. That was a typo.
Here, you want to read that over again? please?
No, I do not.
So this
So
is-
we acknowledge the correction and proceed.
My apologies. for
That's
that.
okay.
Sometimes these numbers all just run together.
Twice. Okay, any further with the tax rate hearing? Then we will adjourn that tax rate hearing at 7:10. Return to normal order of business. All right, we have approval of the minutes. The regular meeting open session of August 12th, and also the minutes of the August 12th closed session. Have we had a chance to look at both of them?
The motion we accept.
All right. All in favor? Financial report as of August 31st, 2020.
Yes, sir. In the assets, checking accounts. In the general fund at Bank Star, we have 392,141.95. In the capital reserve at Bank Star, 518,225. In the health reimbursement account at Bank Star, 9,974.52, with a total list of assets of 920,047. Liabilities, equity, current liabilities, 0. Total income expense per period, income 37,696.36, and expenses of 82,542.46.
Any discussion about the financial report? Then I make a motion that we accept the financial report as written and presented. In order to pay the bills, I'd like to present this ordinance 20-15 to appropriate the funds out of the regular funds of the Hillsborough Fire Protection District of Jefferson County, Missouri, to pay claims and demands as hereinafter specifically set forth. Be it ordained that the Board of Directors of the Hillsborough Fire Protection District of Jefferson County, Missouri, as follows. Section 1 of the district hereby appropriates out of the funds of the Hillsborough Fire Protection District of Jefferson County, Missouri, the sum of $82,542.46 for the purpose of paying claims and demands the persons herein specifically described here in the ordinance. We have a motion to accept the ordinance and pay the bills.
Oh, I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Again, Marcy, twice, please.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, fire marshal's report, please.
It's a pretty simple one for August. There were no permits issued, no fees charged, and no fees collected. But we have a couple projects on the horizon. Hot Shop is getting ready to start down at B21, and then I talked to a builder. They're going to do an addition on a new Hope Fellowship right there. Couple things on the horizon, hopefully.
Also something they restarted the new apartment complex down there in Hope Place.
Yeah, that permit was just issued 2 days ago this month. So
Where's that?
Emerald Place down there and
Across from Baker.
across from Baker's Automotive. Doug Draper's.
What about the this new storage? Right, Eagles Nest. He's building another one right next to it.
Is he? I didn't know that.
Okay.
Riches, you just gotta stay on Rich, you know. Look at it.
Right, yeah, I didn't know you.
You just gotta stay on Rich. It was good. So,
Okay, well, fire chief's report.
yes, for the month of 2020, 85 alarms for August. 2020, excuse me. No major incidents really to report off for the month of August. The UTV is officially in service, so Again, COVID continues to rule our lives in every way, shape, and form, unfortunately, as we continue to navigate that. The COVID reports attached will go that in a second. So we've begun to release a monthly internal newsletter for keeping everyone in the loop as to what is going on. So that'll keep moving forward. As you saw during the tax rate hearing, we're expecting about a $15,000 budget increase over this year, which is not a whole lot, but it's better than nothing, obviously. So strategic planning and budget planning are beginning to ramp up. The timeline is as follows. At the October board meeting, I would like to review and update the strategic management plan. I'm going to get all these guys' input here over the next few weeks, and we'll kind of move that forward. If you guys have any questions or additions or anything like that, let us know. As the board, I'm more than happy to include those. Then the budget will be adopted at the November board of directors meeting. We should have finalized numbers for insurance renewals and all that good stuff by then. So far things are on the up and up, and as I report later on, we're doing great on income this year. So things are so far doing well. So I am actively working on getting the CARES money submitted to the county. I absolutely anticipate we probably won't get that, but we can try. We got to build into the COVID safe now. So we'll see what happens. As far as the fleet, we received a letter from Suffolk stating that there could be further delays on apparatus delivery again due to COVID. However, I think hopefully.
Looking at the pictures and talking to Brad, we are still on par to go up the 12th and 13th of October. So everything, even fingers crossed, we're still looking for that in November, by the end of November.
So we'll see what happens. For the month of August 2020, members completed a combined 300 hours and 30 minutes of training. The Hillsborough Fire District has kind of resumed some CPR training for the community. We're going to have to evaluate how we're going to deliver that with the county status changed to red, and just kind of limit the number of people in here, potentially make some of the guests wear a mask or go to their facilities and do the training. We'll have to see, and I got to get with Heather and get all that ironed out as well too. So we'll see. Stephanie is actively working on a virtual fire prevention month. We don't want to forget about that. That's coming up here in October. So we're trying to do the best we can with these kids. I don't know if they're going to allow us in the schools to teach. I don't personally think they will. I haven't had a conversation with Dr. Isaacson yet about how that may potentially look. He's definitely got his hands full here moving forward. So we'll see how that looks. And Stephanie is also working with the Soda Rule and Mappaville to kind of work a little more closely together on some of the public relations events, share some equipment, share some information, and bounce ideas off with each other. Kind of notice there's a fire safety trailer sitting across the street from us now, so we hope to get some good use out of that if society ever normalizes again here in the near future. Any questions for me on the fire chief report?
All right, COVID-19 update. Pretty much noticed.
We're at red again. So obviously that just happened yesterday. We have the orange guidance in here, but I'm more than happy to send you the red guidance. It's virtually the same. There's not much difference in what is in here. We are getting back to 25% capacity here in the meeting room. For the most part, I don't anticipate the board having to go back to doing just Zoom meetings, but our capacity will now be 11 in this. So we've kind of locked the building down again to an extent. I'm not saying we're not going to let nobody in here again, but we'll just selectively make sure we're not letting people that we don't know what their business is in the building, and we'll provide them curbside service if they, have questions. We tend to have some people who have recently been released from the Hillsborough Hilton try to want to come in and use the phone and do this and do that. We definitely do not. COVID and all that. So we're doing the best we can with what we got, trying to keep everybody healthy. We have really been struggling. Jason can probably attest to my banging my head off my desk for the past 6 months, finding testing for our people in the event that we need to send somebody for a COVID test. So the Hillsborough, or the Jefferson County Health Department is trying their very best with the resources that they have. But first response agencies, fire, police, EMS, we can't wait 2 weeks for test results. We need to have priority when it comes to these testings. And we do not have that down here in Jefferson County with the health department at this point in time. So what I am looking at doing, and kind of a group of us as some fire chiefs are looking into this, we're looking at potentially getting a contractual agreement with St. Louis County to provide first responder testing. That way, if somebody comes up sick, we can get results back very, very rapidly and keep our staffing levels to where they need to be. So I unfortunately think it's going to get kind of bad coming up here with flu on top of this COVID stuff. So nobody's going to know what they have. And St. Louis County has a dedicated first responder testing site set up. It's up at Melville Fire Second House. I've spoken to Melville's assistant chief. I've spoken to the battalion chief up there that's handling the COVID testing. And today I spoke to Greg Brown, who's the chief of Eureka Fire, and a very politically connected man up in St. Louis County. And he seems to think that it would be very possible to work an agreement out to get our testing done. With that being said, it's going to cost. So it's not going to be something that is done for free. But if I can save somebody, if I can save 5 or 6 overtime shifts and not have somebody quarantined for 14 days and get them back to work, I think it will be hugely financially beneficial to the district moving forward. So,
How quick are you talking?
what was that, Nicolopolis? 36 hours?
Oh, wow.
So it's pretty quick. So we can.
Well, there's somewhere around here that does rapid testing. Is that for people going and doing it?
So there is a potential that we could get rapid testing done at
Is it the access? and
total access
Mhm.
urgent care. The downfall to that is they only have a limited number of tests that they have per day. So we would have to basically let them know the night before. That individual would have to show up at 7 a.m. and they may not get tested till 1 or 2 in the afternoon, from what I understand. So it's been kind of a struggle. But if we get this done through St. Louis County, it'll be bang, bang, quick. And in total access urgent care, that's kind of a second type of an option out there. I've talked to numerous other fire chiefs, EMS chiefs, and we're all just pulling our hair out with this as to what to do with sick employees because we don't know anymore. Because every symptom included in COVID is every other symptom of every other infectious disease on the face of the earth. So it's Jason McTass's full-time job keeping up with this COVID stuff. It really, truly is. So we're trying our very best to do the right thing, keep everybody healthy and doing the right thing.
What do you think the initial cost is going to be at St. Louis County?
I don't know. I was thinking $50, $60 a test, something like that. I don't know. And it's something that our workers' comp carrier may cover as well. So another area we're struggling is guidance through the Jefferson County Health Department. They have been so focused, and I'm not trying to knock the health department if anybody's out there watching. They have been so focused on the schools, and they are so short-staffed. We have just been placed on the back burner as first responders. So that's how I feel. So we're trying other avenues to take the load off of them and let them concentrate on the schools. I think they don't have what St. Louis County has. St. Louis County has a very robust system of testing and tracing and everything set up. It's just not fair in Jefferson County. So, I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm not going to tell them what we're willing to pay. We'll see what we can negotiate. So, we'll see. Is there any questions about COVID and anything we're doing, anything you're seeing we shouldn't be doing?
Any communications? I don't see anything.
Yes.
Old business, the pre-design project update.
Yeah, we were supposed to meet at some point this month to wrap that project up and get it done. Obviously, COVID's been holding them up. They're severely restricted up in St. Louis County compared to us out here. So we'll have to see how that looks and plays out here to try to get that done. I don't blame the architect by any means. It's just, unfortunately, our whole life revolves around everything COVID. So
Okay.
that's all there.
New business, the training facility.
So we've been in talks for a couple of years with Chief Fitzgerald from DeSoto Rural and some other fire chiefs out there. I attached an email that he had sent out with his plan and an attempt to develop some sort of a joint training type of a facility that multiple departments can use and share. Valley Ambulance, which is right there at 110 and 21, has offered a certain amount of acreage for us to potentially do that on. So I wanted to get your guys' thought on potentially jointly moving forward in a venture to build a joint training facility down this way that would include live fire, rescue, repelling. Obviously, it's not in our district. DeSoto Rural wants to and is offered to bear the brunt of the cost of this program. They're looking at a 20-year note for about $450,000, I believe is what that says. With Hillsborough Fire's portion being around $8,000 a year to help offset those costs moving forward. It's been wonderful the past 3 months having that burn trailer across the street and all the guys training on it. However, we're very limited in what we can do with that, and obviously Rock Community needed it, so they're coming to get it. So we're kind of out of a facility at this point in time. This will help us in the ISO department, which is our insurance services office's rating. So it could potentially score us a few points to have that there. And just want to see what you guys thought.
Is it similar to what Festus has?
It's going to be different.
More like Tri-County.
It'll be more like Track County. It'll be built using a storage container. There's a company called Draeger that will come in and build it. And it will be used storage containers that will be set up in a multitude of different ways. It'll be set up like a house, so you can simulate a garage fire. You can simulate anything you can imagine between that and tech rescue. So it'll be, I think, hugely beneficial to our folks moving forward. So
3 stories, so you can see.
3 stories, so we can consider that with the ISO points. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's not, it's something that I would like to throw in the budget for next year, but I don't think we'll have I don't think it'll be until the following year, 2022, when that'll get built and we're looking at payments and all that. So it'll take a year to plan it out and get everything done and working. But if we account for it now within the budget, then I think we'll be be okay. And again, a lot of it hinges on too, they want to see what health insurance is going to do and all that good stuff. So,
I mean, I wouldn't see a problem committing to the partnership for sure.
yep, that's it. Not committing to anything other than that at this point in time. And then obviously when times comes, there'll have to be some sort of an agreement with Valley that they can't just say you can no longer use it and put it in their lock and key. There'll have to be some sort of a long-term 99-year ironclad lease with them for that piece of property, and then all kinds of stuff with attorneys and this and that. So it'll be a long process moving forward. Just wanted to get your thoughts on the partnership and what you think.
I think it's a win-win. If it all works like that.
I agree as well.
So what do you guys think? Make a motion to tentatively enter into a partnership? All right. We're in favor of it then. Oh, the equipment for the UTV.
Yes, and hopefully you all read that I put before the purchases, the letter about the state of the budget, where we stand with everything, which is just wonderful for this year. I am just absolutely floored at how well our sales tax has done. I have no explanation for it. It's why it has done so well with everything, but it did. So with that, some of the first things, Jason, you want to go over the UTV equipment?
Sure. So we received, did you include a copy of the bid in there?
They have it.
Okay.
Yes.
We received the bid back. It's the only Polaris dealer in Jefferson County, Cerdite. They gave us the bid for the winch, snow plow, plus the installation, and the brush guard. It was $3,000 something.
92.89.
So I recommend we go ahead. They've actually been really good to work with. The only issue we have from the original UTV is the roof and the windshield still haven't come in. But that's because the Polaris plant was shut down for 2 months. They're trying to play catch up. So,
When it comes, it comes.
yep, when it gets here, it gets here.
That's it.
We purchased all the warning lights and the spotlights for the UTV already, and they're here. We're just waiting on the roof, and when that's here, we'll finish it up.
So no more shoveling of snow for Charlie?
Well, and that's
Well,
snow
it's
plowing
not
is further down the
people,
list too, but
That's all that.
it's impossible to plow this lot here.
There's so hard to know.
There's too many cars. So having that with the UTV, and that'll take care of here. We'll never have to pay anybody to do it. Which, good Lord, that snow plowing is not cheap. Wow.
Well, I make a motion to approve the Cerdite Motorsports Edition.
I'll second
All in favor? Health insurance group quote.
Yeah, a gentleman by the name of Brock Hendricks recently, he reached out to us before COVID hit. And we sat down with him, several fire departments, to discuss the possibility of forming a self-insured group amongst multiple fire departments for the purchase of health insurance. He now works for First State Community Bank, which I think is a bonus. So I met with him and Rick Francis, who's vice president down here in Hillsborough last week. And they asked if they could look into a group purchasing program for several fire departments here in Jefferson County. I said, sure, you can look into it. We'll see. I just want to let you guys know that I met with them and we're talking. It would be Anthem Insurance, and I'm not 100% on board with the self-insurance plan, but I think it's worth listening to. I think it saves us any type of money and still provide these guys the same benefits that they have now. So that's it. That's just an FYI.
The snowball.
Golden Fire, Mappaville Fire, and Hillsborough Fire are interested in buying a snowplow to share basically between the three three fire districts. Again, another joint purchase. Every 6519 and then a Naperville pickup truck and a Boeing pickup truck would have all the controls set up on their vehicles, and then we just have to back up to a single plow that we would share as well too to take care of our station two. And there has been times that we've needed a plow in a snowstorm on a call, and we can't get it. So looking up to spend about $3,500 max. I don't have the exact price on that yet, but just wanted to see what your guys' thoughts were. We spent over that in snowplow bills over the past 10 years, so it'll pay for itself eventually. One harsh winter may pay for itself, actually. Naperville, Goldman, and
Where will you keep it?
it'll be on 6519. We'll have the controls on it, and then the blade will just probably be kept at Naperville or Goldman. We'll have to run over there real fast and put it on there and then drive out to the house. So.
Okay, the Jefferson County CAD system upgrade.
You guys go with me?
Yep.
Doing it, okay. I'm pretty excited about this moving forward. If you guys haven't heard, Jefferson County is upgrading their CAD, doing a new CAD system, which will finally allow us, and this has been a big sticking point for me, and Marcy, this may be something that you don't know, but when you call 911 right now, you don't get the closest fire equipment or the closest ambulance. We have what's called a static set of running cards that we have to build back here at the firehouse on our own and submit it to Jefferson County. It's an absolutely terrible system. It's antiquated, it's old, it was originally built in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s when Jefferson County 911 first came into existence. So we're finally shipping that, when was that, 92, Charlie? Yeah. Finally shipping this program down the road, and Logisys is the name of the new CAD system. So Matt calls 911 and there's a closer ambulance driving through town right now. It's going to send that ambulance on that call, as opposed to Matt having to wait for an ambulance to come from all the way out off of the highway. So it's a huge benefit to the district residents. And at the end of the day, I think we all work so closely together that district borders don't much matter. And I don't think Marcy cares the color of the fire truck or what ambulance shows up at her house, as long as it's a close one and an appropriate one to show up. So I think this is a huge benefit to the taxpayers moving forward. So I'm excited about that. It'll be some getting used to. It'll be different. Everybody's going to have to start from what they thought they knew about how things are dispatched and kind of change their mind and change their tune. Jason and myself have been working with Jefferson County 911 on these responses for months and months, trying to figure everything out. So the 22nd is when they're supposedly rolling over to the new CAD system. So that is a good thing. With that, Jefferson County 911 is providing a PC for all of our trucks, a rugged tablet for all of our, not a tablet, a Toughbook, Panasonic Toughbook for all of our vehicles, to where we'll be able to have all the CAD information, maps, fire hydrant locations, the whole 9 yards. What they're not supplying us is mounting equipment for those tablets in the trucks. Jason has been working diligently to reach out to several vendors for this mounting stuff. Obviously, every fire district in Jefferson County is wanting this too, so they're kind of behind on the bidding process. I don't even know what it's going to cost. I don't have any idea. However, I think it's one of those things we're going to have to eat and do it. So I just want to let you know, or make sure you guys are all right with me making that expense and making those purchases. I'll text you guys with the total or whatever and let you know what we're at. But all the computers evidently came in today. They were not slated to be in for, what did they say, 70 days almost?
Beginning of November at least.
Yeah, and like that was 2 weeks ago, and they all showed up today. So we're behind the 8 ball. So we're moving forward with that. One other thing that we're going to have to do is, right now all of our tablets in the trucks are controlled by a SIM card. We're gonna have to get hotspots now in all of the trucks that the computer can attach to. So there will be a added cost in that moving forward. However, I accounted for that last year, so it's already.
As far as the extra expense of the mounting. equipment,
Yes.
there should be money set aside for expense for vehicle.
I think we are doing well enough that we can take it right out of general fund.
There we go.
I really do. So I think we'll be fine.
Now, what I understand about the new CAD system is that if you were running through, coming back from a call from DeSoto Roll, and you're coming down DeSoto Main Street, and there's a call at Phillips 66, you're 2 blocks from it, but you have to be in service. I understand.
You are correct. There's some lingo and verbiage that's gonna have to be, that these guys are gonna have to throw away from their, it's gonna be a change.
If they come back and they go, we're out of service, then they don't track, or if they're returning,
That's correct.
but if they're in service, then that's their
That's
baby.
gonna be their. Yes,
Okay.
yes, it is. And at the end of the day, it's the person that matters, not the district, in my book.
Right.
So I'm extremely, I've been a big proponent of ensuring that the taxpayer doesn't have to worry about the color of the fire truck or the style of the ambulance coming to their house.
It's service.
It's service. And St. Louis County's been doing this for years and years and years. And again, it's just Jeff Billworth. 10 years behind St. Louis County on some of this stuff. So it's, I'm excited. It's huge progress for Jefferson County. So
Any questions about that? The boat lettering.
that's the final thing with the boat. That is the plan there from Logo Daddy right here in town. Again, very happy to use a local company to get this job done. They're going to put $65.99 just on the inflatable. And then they're going to wrap the John boat will be red with Hillsborough Fire Protection District and $65.99 on the back there. So $1,075.
Yeah, that's a, yeah.
Again, I'm all about using local companies, so one can use a local company.
Your boat was prominently on the news for all 3 channels.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yes, it was. Actually, his face was all
Face
over the
was.
news.
what
yeah.
me?
And you had already figured in with the purchase of the boat lettering?
I had not, no.
You had not.
So this will be
Okay.
extra on top of that. And I think we're sitting well enough that, and if we do, we're so under budget on the purchase of this, we can take it out of the equipment fund, but again, I don't think we have. I really don't.
I don't have a problem. Is that gonna be red or is that, I mean, this looks like an orange.
No, it's right. It's right.
All right, do we need a motion on that, or just we approve it and?
I'll just put down a motion.
Motion, okay, we approve that unless there's an objection. The COVID grant. Jason.
Okay, so we released the RFP a few weeks back, just like we're supposed to. We received, my understanding is we received several responses, but only 2 of them came close to meeting the spec. And 2 of them met spec, and that was Sentinel, which is, well, I guess they're not located in Orland anymore. They moved today to Telegraph. And Caprice Electronics out of Brooklyn, New York. I gotta recommend we go with Caprice. They're more than $5,000 cheaper and we can get more stuff. So,
I'm personally still leery about that $5,000 difference. I personally called them yesterday and I said, dude, what's the catch? I said, you are $5,000 cheaper than our next closest bid. He's like, I buy straight from MSA Direct, which is the name brand of the stuff that we buy. He goes, that's the price they quoted me. And we actually, years back, there is an ordinance adopted by the board for federal grant purchasing that we have to follow, and we're pretty much bound by AFG federal grant regulations to go with the cheapest bid.
If you do look at their website though, they're Duns and Bradstreet certified, which is the government stuff. They're able to sell the GSA for law enforcement and military. Like if they're certified to be on air, I think we're okay.
But if God forbid something happens with that and that falls through, we would obviously then send something. I can't explain it. Ah. I agree with Jason. We'll at least gotta try it, I guess.
Yeah. You said everything looked good and.
Their numbers are right, the part numbers are right. The chief talked with them and they're registered on all the federal sites. So unless you're doing one hell of a scam, I think we gotta at least give it a shot.
All right. I'm okay with that then. Certainly a $5,000 difference is nothing to turn away.
No. No, not at all.
Okay, well, I'll make a proposal that if this all works out, we use Caprice Electronics.
Right.
Well, approved.
Still sketchy, but we'll see.
I know. Anything else we need to discuss?
No, I got them.
All right, then do we have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make that motion.
All right. Meeting adjourned.
You guys see the new pictures of the truck?
Is there significance to the letters and the numbers?
Yes, there is. So 6599 is typically. So if you look at all of our truck numbers start with a 65. That's no problem. All of our trucks. Cedar Hill 77, Soda Rules 58. So the first numbers designate that.
Okay.
Typically, the third number designates the engine house that it comes. But with a boat, really tough. The 99 is typically. And the I stands for inflatable, since that's our inflatable boat. And then the rigid bottom boat, 6599. So, and then if you look, when we talk about different pieces.
I think it's out of their office.
You're like 6514. So that's
Yeah,
those boroughs.
we need-
Rescue pumper, the 4 is a rescue pumper out of one house.
We bought
So there is
$100,
significance
150 shares
to it.
Like if you put like a 2 in front of that, 24, that's a 2 house, 3 house, 4 house, just like.
Here, I'll take the story, but we're walking
The
outside.
profile is 6519.
Well, that'll go on our utility pickup truck is 6519. So that hauls the boat, that hauls the UTV, that hauls the snowplow will go on the pickup truck, yeah.
Okay.
We lots of times use 19 if we gotta run and pick up something big from the hardware store that we keep fit in my vehicle. So,
Do you have a lot of the employees like wanting to go get tested? Or is it more like at your discretion? Or are you just encouraging, like, you don't feel good, just go get tested?
No, not at all.
Okay.
So what my goal is, because right now, you call me and tell me
Mhm.
you don't go get tested.
Okay.
You pretty much got to quarantine for 14 days
Who does?
before you, kind of, if you have the symptoms of COVID, before you're allowed back. This will cut that way down because the second Marcy calls and says, hey, I'm sick and don't feel good.
Mhm.
I need to get tested. I can immediately send you to get tested. And if you swab negative, then you're right back. Once you're over whatever you got.
Right. Mhm.
What about personal insurance? Say how to get.
The problem, Gary,
Well, because, right, like, yeah,
It's
it's taking
taking
2 weeks to get your test results back.
But no, I meant like going up to the place up there, you just pay it, or they're not gonna go through the process of private insurance.
I'll have to check. I don't know. They might. There's a possibility. You know, then we had a situation last week. Mitch called me. It was like 5 in the morning. He's like, man, I woke up, I don't feel good. You know, my nose is stuffed and I got a cough. I'm like, well, normally would you go home? He goes, no, I would stay here at work. I said, well, then stay at work.
Right, wear a mask.
Yeah, wear a mask, stay at work. But the tipping point now is I'm still using the fever.
Mhm.
Let me end this real fast before